If you're a longtime cartoon lover like me, you know that the world of animation has become very sophisticated since the early days of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Well, this summer, a disciple of the Mickey and Minnie School has created a sweeping movie full of color, music, and emotion. Here's a look at The Secret of NIMH and its creator, Don Bluth.
Great Jupiter, woman, what do you want?
Mr. Aegis, I know you don't like visitors, but this is an emergency. Please.
Madam, that is an emergency.
Oh, Mr.
You might mistake The Secret of NIMH for classic Disney animation, which would probably please producer and former Disney disciple Don Bluth, who left the studio to form his own production company because he felt production standards at Disney had declined.
What we used to know as the early Disney films, that golden age, so much of that has been dissipated since Walt's death. So much of it isn't there anymore. We don't see movies like Bambi or like Pinocchio or Snow White. And I think it's because some of those production values and some of the stories that had such a good bite in them, those are not there.
The Secret of NIMH is the result of Bluth's commitment to classical animation techniques. NIMH took 2.5 years of painstakingly detailed work, which involved over 1 million drawings and more than 1,000 individually painted backgrounds. In fact, there are as many as 96 drawings in a single second of film.
There are many production values that you will see on the screen in The Secret of NIMH, which are things you have not seen in a Disney picture before. In the tractor sequence, for example, we've tried to give you every production value that we know how to do. We've tried to give the whole sequence an emotion. That means that as the emotions grow in intensity, the colors must also do the same thing. When it first starts, the colors are very muted and they're down as Mrs. Brisby wakes up in the morning. Then as she hears the tractor coming onto the field and she's filled with this fear that her family's going to be killed, the colors get hotter. And as she races towards the tractor and she jumps up onto the plow itself thinking she's going to stop this machine somehow, they become intense reds and then violet colors. And as her emotions get really wild, well, the colors begin to feel that same thing. It is all worth it. The spending of the money is worth it. The time you spent animating and doing all these production values is worth it. The reason is when I, as an audience or anyone, sits in that film, and if you can identify or feel a catharsis with what's going on the screen, something magic happens. You learn something. This identification lets you experience something that you can't do if you think it's drawn. And as long as we continue to remind the audience that we drew this picture, that we painted it, that it's all really pretend, I don't think they can get into the story. So it's important for us that we hide ourselves in the wings. No brushstrokes, no pencil marks, no evidence that we were even here. It's got to look just effortless, like ballet looks effortless.